Now we'll talk about depreciation. Okay, I already introduced the idea of depreciation, but depreciation is just loss of value. Value could be money. In this case, we're using money as value. So when we say money depreciate, meaning that money is losing value. But let's go on and look at the example. So I'm saying some items depreciate in value, and items like equipment and cars. Equipment, what do I mean by equipment? Let's say you buy a tractor, you want to practice agricultural implements or equipment, like the stuff that you use in order to water your gardens. Like if you have a water tank, it loses value after the minute you buy it, or a tiller, a grader. All those equipments are losing value, and cars too. As soon as you drive off at the car dealership with your new car, you are happy. But guess what? If you turn around tomorrow and say you don't like the car, if you bought it today by 20,000 or 200,000, they're not going to give you 200,000 tomorrow. It will be less than that. So that's what I mean by losing value. It's like, yeah, you buy something today, or even a car, you buy it in the morning today, you drive off, you come back, you're like, I don't like this car. Well, they probably can take it back, but they're not going to give you the exact money that you paid for. You're going to have less money. So, okay, now let's go and calculate how much less are you going to get. But here I wrote that moral of the story is that you should not spend too much money on things that lose value. You should spend so much money on things that gains value. Like on the previous example, we saw that a house, for instance, gains value. Land gains value. There are some other things like education. I will say it gains value because as soon as you get educated, you're going to earn more money than you were earning when you were not educated. And so that's the value that you gain. But again, education comes with costs. You have to spend money in order to make that money. But as soon as you start making that money after you spend to get educated, as soon as you start earning money, you probably are going to earn money indefinitely. So take that into account when you're making life decisions. Okay, now let's come to our example. Andrew bought a top of the range car for 300,000 rands. And then 4 years later, he sold it for 175,000 rands. Question number 1, how much value did he lose in the car? Stated in a different way, the same question, how much money did he lose when he sold the car? Then second question, what was the depreciation or annual depreciation over the 4 years? Okay, now the value lost, it's easy. That's number 1. How much value did he lose? Value lost is since he paid 300,000, his money 300,000, and then now when he's selling it 175,000. We are making the assumption that the 175,000 while he's selling his car, that's the best offer he can get. He could get 0, which is, the minimum offer. which is the worst offer, but 175,000 is the best offer he can get for the car. Okay, so now we take the 300,000 minus the 175,000, and then we see with him after the 4 years loan, he's in the hole. He lost 125,000. While some people could argue that he didn't actually lose the 125,000, you can make another calculation to actually find out how much exactly did he lose. Because if he bought a car, he wasn't paying for, transportation to get in a bus, get in a taxi when he was going to town, and then he was using that car, so people will say like that's not a total loss. But again, if you want to go with that argument, you will say that, okay, I will say to you, do not subtract anything from this 125,000, because whatever he gained from the car by driving to town whenever he wanted to and stuff, he lost it in the money that he had to buy petrol on it. And he had to make sure that the car was maintained. You pay maintenance and stuff. So we don't want to deal with that, but we just made this simple. So he lost 125,000. Okay, now let's go down to annual depreciation, which is the second question over here. Now our n equals to 4. Remember, our k here is equals to 1, so n will be 4. And then a will be 175,000, and p will be equals to 300,000. Now we'll put those numbers in our equation over here. Remember, the 1 on the k, we don't put it over here, because anything multiplied by 1 equals to that thing. Anything divided by 1 equals to that thing. So anything that's 1, we don't want to spend our time with 1. So 175,000 equals to 300,000 times 1 plus r over 100 to the power 4. Okay? Image here too, like I said before. It looks pretty fine. We're all happy, and then we get here, we're like, what is that? How am I going to get rid of that? Because everything else, the algebra is easy. But when I get to see that 4 over there, you're like, oh yeah, there's something that I have to do to get rid of that 4. Okay, don't worry about that. Let's start with first steps. We take the 300 here, we divide by 300, 300 divided by 300,000, 300,000 divided by 300,000 equals to 1. So get rid of that. What you did over here, you do it on the other side. 175,000 divided by 300,000. Okay, then what we're left with over here is 1 plus r over 100 to the power 4. Okay, now in order to get rid of this 4 on this side, it's easy. You just introduce a 4th root. I forgot this 4 over here. It should always be there. So we can introduce a 4th root. This 4th root will cancel the follow, so that the answer is 1 plus r over 100. That way, we got rid of that 4, solution we solved. But there's another one. What you did on this side, you have to do it on the other side. So you're going to introduce the 4th root to 175 divided by 300. Why 175 divided by 300? Is because I got rid of labo 3 zeros lab. And then what I did over here, I do it over here. So ba cancel na labo 0, laba by 3, na laba by 3, and then I am left with 175 over 300. Don't worry, you can do that, and it will give you this very same answer. So now Lana-ke funa sithathe lelo khuze le fourth root of 175 divided by 300. Okay, without making a whole story, I already talked about this previously. You just take the numbers lawa la phakathi njengoba anjalo and then uwafaka 2 kuma-brackets. The 4 lo uba 1 over 4, but this one becomes an exponent now. In that way, it's easy for you to do on your calculator because do a calculator yakho uthi utokubhala njengoba kunjalo lo. It's 175 divided by 300 and then you sebenzisa this sign over here which is yx and then 4 and then okay, yx 1 over 4. That's what this is over here. So lo y wakho lona kuba ngilo 175 over 300. Okay, and then after you do that, the answer yakho itoba ngibani 0.8739. Okay, equals to 1 plus r over 100. Okay, again people will trip on this and be like, hey, I thought I already solved what is this now? Okay, this one is easy. Just take the one umwelise and the equal sign abe negative nganani. Then uthatha 0.8739 minus 1 would be equals to 0.126 equals to r over 100. So now what you do when things are like this, you do what is called cross multiplication. So lo 100 udala kuloko. Then lo r is times 1 over here, in which case we can just leave him over here. Left. R equals to negative 0.126 times 100. So now the annual depreciation rate is negative 12.6% per year. Remember our K, it was equals to 1. So this is per year. So that's the depreciation of the car per year. It was depreciating at 12.6%. Yeah. All right.